Nobody knows how to start or get anything going. Most everything gets messed up because of it. I've driven all morning and most of the afternoon to meet you for the very first time. And right now I know how to start, and I'm not going to mess things up. I will start the way Dark Shadows on ABC TV started their shows so many times. Are you ready? First, I must prepare. Okay, here goes. My name is Victoria Winters. She'd say at the very beginning of the shows, my name is Victoria Winters. And then she'd say something about Collinwood usually. Victoria Winters was the governess of the Collins children. Victoria Winters is a fictional character. I am a real character, just as you are a real Scott Phillips from Search for Tomorrow. You've been living your life all along and you never knew that you were famous. When your parents named you, they never knew they could have made you famous. Famous all along, and you never knew it. I knew mine was happening all along. My fame affected me. Oh, I used to watch Dark Shadows as often as I could. Not only because of my real name, Victoria Winters, but because it was so good. I've enjoyed my fame, as I hope you enjoy yours. That show made me famous in school. I still have the article written about me in the school paper. I wore my hair just like the TV version of me. And I talked lost and wispy, just like she did. I was lost and wispy way before Dark Shadows ever thought of Victoria Winters. See, I came first. Before Dark Shadows, I let people call me Vicky Winters. I don't anymore. I correct them every time. I'm not the only Victoria Winters in the country. I know that. I share the fame. I checked on the internet, and there are less than 10 of us. At least less than 10 who have published phone numbers and who haven't gotten married. So there could be even more. Some could have corrupted themselves and took their husband's name. I would never do that. Even if I had a good husband, I wouldn't. I don't, you know. My husband is much less than okay. I may not be the only Victoria Winters, but I am the truest, the most pure Victoria Winters. That's why I made the local newspaper. Not once, but several times. I'm my own press agent, you know. I am the truest Miss Winters in so many ways. Not only do I have a black wig, but I have a true black wig. My name is Victoria Winters. Victoria Lynn Winters. Daytime television controlled me. I didn't control it. That was what a school psychologist told me once. I knew back then she wasn't getting paid much, so I didn't completely believe her. High-paid people are usually the most credible. People who deal with either blood or guts or both get paid plenty. And they should. Plumbers get paid macho sums because they deal with things that should get flushed but got stuck instead. The ugly and the unpleasant always pays big. Garbage collectors should get paid more because they deal with things that should be flushed but can't get flushed, so they need to get taken away. Anyway, the school psychologist didn't flush a thing out of me and got paid a lot more than a plumber, I just bet. It wasn't until after my second child was born I went to a real psychologist who got paid zillions. He didn't think my love for Dark Shadows was a bit harmful. He shrugged it off. He said that all the kids watched Dark Shadows. They did in my school, for sure. As I said before, I am a Victoria, not a Vicky. Can't you tell I'm not a Vicky? I'm not. On One Life to Live, another Victoria, Victoria Lord, had a split personality. Her nasty and carefree side used to call her responsible and respectable side Icky Vicky. I wasn't ever going to be an Icky Vicky to anyone. In all its 20 years of being soap, Secret Storm never had a Victoria. I had to check the cast list because I didn't watch it. There wasn't a Victoria to be seen. A Victoria will always be seen. As long as I live, you can count on it. Frank caught me playing a scene with the wig in front of the mirror and got upset. That's how I got to the overpaid psychologist. Frank is my husband. He made me go. He told me to tell the shrink all about me wearing the wig, but I didn't. I mean, I did go to the psychologist, but only to shut Frank up. I didn't mention the wig. I felt too self-conscious telling him about my own life. So I recounted old Search for Tomorrow plots and claimed them as my own life. I pretended to be Joanne, who they all called Joe. And there was, of course, Stu and Scott Phillips, which is you. There you are, you famous man, you. I couldn't stay strictly to the original Search for Tomorrow plots. To make them believable, I did search plots on a theme by me. I didn't plan on dramatizing Search for Tomorrow until I walked into that psychologist's office. It was lovelier than any place from anyone's dream. But the receptionist insisted that I take my shoes off before entering. Well, I insisted right back at her. I told her I was the customer and my shoes would stay on my feet. Any fellow with a PhD after his name needs to be reminded he's only hired help. And in this shrink's case, he was hired, but he was no help at all. And he wasn't even smart, or he wouldn't have believed the search plots as my own life story. Dumb idiot bastard. I got him hooked on my stories in no time flat. I could have walked all over his silk rugs with muddy sandals and he wouldn't have cared. I was always in there longer than my allotted time. I talked as fast as I could. Even though we were running through the episodes pretty fast, there was so much ground to cover. You wouldn't guess it, but I have a flair for drama. But even still, the storytelling was challenging, and it took real concentration on my part to make it all sound real. Luckily, I kept a diary of search plots over the years. And it was also luck that I never missed an episode in all those years, because the show was on when I came home for lunch from school. I'd study the diary the night before a session, just as an actress would study her script. The psychologist told me I've led a very interesting life. Oh yeah, he was hooked for sure. Nobody should get the big bucks enjoying themselves as much as he did listening. Now, a little about the wig. When I was in high school, I was a swimmer and got sick of tucking Victoria-length hair under my cap. So I grew it out extra long and cut it and had it made into the wig it is to this day. The very wig Frank caught me wearing, portraying Victoria Winters in front of the mirror. Frank in the wig episode wouldn't have stirred up such a stink if he only caught me wearing it.